anyone make an offer, get an offer accepted this week by a property? Anybody? Ricardo, come on up.
No, I don't want to.
Come on up. Come on up. We want to hear about it. Come on up. It's a good story. You look good. Your hair looks amazing. All right.
Everybody raise their hand. Why me?
Everybody? I only saw you and Andy. All right, well, I'll talk about an offer I made too, but
I get the whole meeting, so.
it's okay.
Hello.
Stuck in your beard?
All right, so tell us about the offer. Do you get an offer accepted, or what happened?
Well, it's a property by my house that I always wanted to buy. It sold about a year ago to a couple with a trucking company because it got a 1 acre lot. But the city came on them hard because they don't let trucks there. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, main house, one with an ADU in the back. So I'm working on that one. It got accepted. We're working with Steve. If it goes with Steve.
So that was one that you made an offer on and they accepted?
Yes.
Or? Okay,
yes.
Nice. Good job. What about didn't you just buy a mobile home and a lead sale?
I just bought 2 mobile homes.
Okay.
One on a senior park and it's for sale already. And I just bought another one on Jurupa. It's called Cascade Mobile Home Park in Jurupa Valley. It's gonna need a lot of repairs, but it's gonna be for sale. It's a family park. I got another mobile home here for sale too. Take advantage. And I'm gonna need you to walk the house.
Are you gonna need me to walk it? Okay.
That house that I'm working on. So it's got a duplex and it's got a lot of ways to make money.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about the co-living.
Yeah, something like
okay.
that.
What I talked about earlier this month. All right.
That's
Well,
it
cool.
for now.
Well, I mean, me and where's Gracia? Is she in the? Oh, she's back there. Was that your first offer that you've made, or have you made other offers? Okay, your first one with me. But we made an offer on a mobile home yesterday. The wife wants to take it, but the husband doesn't. So we're just gonna, we'll figure it out. So, anyone else want to come up and share? No, everyone's scared. Evan, Andy, do you want to, or you can share when you come up. Yeah, the whole meeting. Good. All right, we're good. That was it. Just real short, brief. All right, Andy. We'll bring Andy up, and while he's warming up, I'll get his presentation going.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, welcome. Some of you have heard all these lectures before. Sorry. The John Schaub slide didn't make it up there. That's interesting.
Well, because you're going to talk about it.
Well, I will.
Oh, you want me to do it right now?
No, that's okay.
I can.
I just want to make sure we do it about 6 times. There are a group of guys who were known for very many years as the. I have a request. Could you turn on the back projector, please?
The back. Oh,
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah, so I can see the slides without going. This is a real interesting way to present here. See, it comes at the end too. You get it twice.
Well, I was going to put it at the beginning and the end.
There you go. If you have not already signed up for John Schaub, there is no excuse not to. I hate to sell it this way, but it's really an important way to do it. A lot of what I learned in my real estate career and my negotiating skill set came from Jimmy Napier. I'll hold on to that, but I need something to see.
I'll get it going.
And I can't take a class from him anymore. And someday I will not be able to take a class from this gentleman, and someday I will not be able to take another class from Pete. You should avail yourself of every opportunity to see these people speak. They have forgotten more than we will ever learn in this industry. And John's theory of building wealth one house at a time is the way to build wealth. So, how many people in here flip houses? Oh, good, a lot less this time. Last week it was a whole darn room. There's not wealth in that.
That's not the point of last week.
No, I know. That's not where wealth comes from. It's a great way. It's a job. It's a way to make income, but it's not wealth. Buying houses and keeping houses is the reason that I'm able to disappear from California for a month at a time, and my tenants take care of their houses, and my rent checks come in, and my bills get paid, and I can go do deals and have a good time and go on 4 or 5 cruises every year. When people that don't have that wealth get to save their money and go on a cruise every 5 years instead of 5 every year. So I really, really want to encourage you to build your wealth. And this is the guy that's got the system. And he's not hard to listen to. Actually, when he and Pete tag team, that's my favorite, because when Pete's up there, your head's going boom, 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 boom. And then when John gets up there, you go, ah. And you guys get 15% off because we're all members in here, right? Yeah, so please sign up. He's going to be right here in this room. It'll be a very intimate setting. We will put up a couple more tables, but we're going to have a full house. So
just curious, who has a ticket for John already? Okay, so for you who do not have a ticket, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Evan and Angela, could you stand up for a moment?
Why don't you stand up? Hey, everyone.
So I just want to make it clear, because I don't know how many of you really take a look at the Facebook group, but we put up a posting about assisting people with the education, and Angela and Evan generously put out an offer that they will add, they will help pay $100 towards a ticket for people who really want this education. Okay, if you can afford to pay for it, you should. But if you have a problem or just need help, they've offered to go ahead and do that. Very, very generous. I think it's good for 10
people, $100. I'll carry $100 to you and your wife. Doesn't matter. Just again, if you can, travel around the world and you're already a millionaire, please don't. Please don't ask. Help someone that really needs it. That's how much we believe in God.
And Steve, who spoke last month, he also offered up to another 5. So that's $1,500 that can go towards education if you really want to get a ticket. Separately, I have my own deal, but it's now limited to one more. And so if you're interested in that one, that also has money coming towards you to help cover expenses. So just talk to me privately about that.
And I financed 4 today. So come Wednesdays, we will set you up with financing. If you don't have the cash, we will set you up with financing so you can come. So sign up. All right. Hi there. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Andy Teasley. I took my guru in 1982. Some of you weren't born yet. That's a scary thought. I can't be that old. Can I be that old? Wow. So, some of you have heard this stuff. That's okay. I call this little deals big returns. Buying and selling mobiles creatively. If you stay until the end, I will give you 2 structures with infinite returns. Who likes infinite? Who here wants to curse their grandchildren with mortgage payments? As long as there's tenants to pay them, right? So, let's talk about the time machine. That is the time machine. If you do not already have this app on your phone, you need it. It is $5.99. It transfers from phone to phone as you kill them. Before I got this combat case I use on my phone now, I was buying a new cell phone every 90 days. So far, this one's been about a year old. That's a very old cell phone in my world. And the app still keeps changing ahead and ahead. So, for my under 30s in the room, those are you who weren't born until 94. Oh, jeez. Could be my grandkids. That's even scarier. If you invest $500 a month, that's $16.67 a day for the next 50 years, because you guys got 50 years to go, unlike us gray-haired folk. And you invested at 15%. What will you have to enjoy in your dotage? On the calculator, it looks like that. So I got a red dot, I got a red dot. 600 months, 15%, that's the interest. Starting with zero, $500 a month payment. What are we gonna get for a future value? Who's got a guess that hasn't had this conversation with me? Really? Nobody's brave?
Or everyone's had the conversation.
What's your guess? 15. It's right there.
I don't know. $1 million.
$1 million. I'll give you a hint. You're investing $300,000 over 50 years.
Oh, 67 million.
67 million. Almost 69. You guys, we've had this conversation. $69 million. That's a lot of money. I'm getting the finger. Slide over. That's right, 69 million. Now, here's the painful question. What if you put off starting for just 1 year? Instead of 50 years, we do 49 years. You see that? Do you realize it cost you $10 million because you didn't fully fund your Roth IRA last year and invest it well? Here's the question everybody likes to ask. Where can I earn 15% consistently? Any ideas other than showing up Wednesday where we do 15% loans all the time?
You said Roth IRA.
Well, yeah, the Roth IRA is the basket. The question is, where do you put the money? Notes. Real estate. The easy thing I like are tax lien certificates. In Arizona, they pay 16%, and in Florida, they 18% if you buy over the counter. That's after the sale. If you don't know what to do with that land, if you get it, come talk to me. I will teach you what to do with that land. A quick aside. What does a $5 daily expense cost you? How much is that Starbucks coffee you drink every day worth? 5 days, $5 a day, 30 days, $150 a month, $1,800 a year in a Roth IRA, invested in tax lien certificates at 15% for 30 years, turns into $157,000. That's some expensive coffee, don't you think? Questions? By the way, I like interaction. I get bored listening to me. I know that's hard to believe, those of you that have been around me. So if you have a question, if you think I'm full of it, speak up, please. Goodwin's supposed to have a mic so he can give me crap. And what if you kept going for 30 years, $150 a month into your Roth at 15%? Nets you $1,038,000. That's real expensive coffee. Who here can raise $5,000 in a pinch? Oh, everybody's hand should go up for that. Come on, if you can't do that, you need a better couch. Who here's heard of Lenny Scruggs? A few of us. Not Earl Scruggs. Everybody's heard of Earl Scruggs. Lonnie Scruggs wrote Deals on Wheels. That's a magic little book, let me tell you. Disclaimer time. What I'm going to share today might not work. You might need to add a zero in your area. Do your own due diligence. Who here can find a mobile home park? Once again, everybody's hand should go up. A third of the population of the United States lives in a mobile or manufactured home. What type of people live in mobile home parks? Good people. This is where you talk. It's how everyone. I'm looking for a specific answer.
People that need house.
What's that?
People that need houses.
People need housing. One of your houses is restricted to what kind of people, Ricardo? Old people. What happens to old people more than young people? Dun, 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 dun. And when mom dies, who gets the mobile home she's lived in since 1986? Her son, the Beverly Hills divorce lawyer. There it is. Look at that lovely box. Nice landscaping there. Those lovely dead trees around it. For this example, a typically refreshed mobile home in this park sells for $10,000 to $25,000. So, Sonny Esquire tries to sell his inheritance for $15,000. Sounds reasonable, right? Can't imagine why he's having trouble selling it. Those colors were so wonderful. There's one I actually bought for $2,000. And I pulled over $2,000 worth of personal property out of that, including a bunch of jewelry that my wife is just all kinds of excited about, and some lovely lamps. He can't figure out why he hasn't sold it yet, but he's sick of trying to sell it. He's tired of paying space rent of about $580 a month, along with the power bill and insurance. Do you think if you're a Beverly Hills divorce attorney, you would have a mobile home in a park that wasn't insured?
No.
I mean, talk about somebody with a big target on his back, right? Does he have a problem?
Yes.
Do you see an opportunity? Yes. Do you see an opportunity? Yes. Good. We can talk. It's not the frozen chosen. Oh, no Protestants in the room. Okay. If you set an appointment with him and offered to pay him only $3,000, would he sell it to you? Maybe. Maybe. While never downgrading mom's home, list the costly things you'll have to do to sell this mobile home. You're going to have to clean it out. You're going to have to dispose of her French colonial furniture. You're going to have to paint. You're going to have to do the kitchen. You're going to have a bathroom upgrade, AC repair. The drapes are going to have to go. Offer him $3,000 and pause. Breathe, then add no more space rent, no clean out. I'll dispose of everything. The hardest part for me is the pause. Can't tell, can you? In this example, we will assume that he accepts our offer and we own the trailer now. Step 2, estate sale. Would you believe that old people like the French colonial furniture that Maud had in her house? They envied it all those years. So we get to turn part of that junk we have to haul out of the house into cash. Step 3, everything else goes. We strip it back to the walls. How's that for a nice empty mobile home, even though it's an Airstream picture? Paint every wall white. When you paint things white, everything appears larger. You just added extra space, which turns into extra dollars. Just by painting walls white, we made the rooms bigger. Step 5, wall-to-wall laminate flooring. When our competition has green shag carpet and we have nice, safe, trip-resistant wood laminate flooring, we've got great marketing potential. Fix the kitchen cabinets. Install a new Formica countertop and a stainless sink. Big single-handle faucets are a great feature in senior parks because senior hands don't like to turn those little knobs with the arthritic fingers. Look at that kitchen. What a nice upgrade. There's an interesting story on the top picture. Do you see that? What's the word I'm looking for? I want to say damaged, but that's not the right word. Distressed white oak barn siding flooring that we were putting in there. I was getting that house ready, cleaning it up, and I noticed one of my knotheads had tracked a muddy boot print on that floor. So I get a rag and squirt bottle of Windex, and I'm down there just scrubbing away at that dirty boot mark, and I'm not getting anything accomplished. And then I noticed about 6 boards over and back a little to the left, an identical muddy boot print. It was in the pattern. The other thing that this flooring had, because I got it for a nickel a foot from Lumber Liquidators, it had, you know, the colored little rectangle things they use for aligning the press when they print things? Did you know they use that when they print the laminate wood flooring too? And the trim was off on this. And about 1 sheet in each box still had that little pattern on it. Of course, they thought everyone had it, so I got a heck of a deal on the flooring. And you know what? Do you see any of those little squares? Because I sure couldn't tell once it was in. It just looked like one more distressed feature on that flooring. Step 7, fix the bathroom. White toilet and tubs only. You know, there's a book called How I Turned 1,000 into 1,000,000. It was written in the 50s. And I think we have a copy if it's not out. And it talks about how we're getting rid of all those boring white bathroom fixtures and putting in the exciting bird's egg blue and passionate pink. And I'm not sure where the ugly avocado came from, but I've had them. By the way, secret trick. If you are bootlegging, okay, always save 1 set of colored 1950s bathroom equipment. If you happen to do a remodel and take out a pink tub and a matching pink toilet and a pink sink, save that in your junk pile. If you decide you want to bootleg a bathroom into a house, drag that colored bathroom into the living room of the house you're doing the remodel on and leave it. If you get caught, when the code inspector's there saying, "You're bootlegging in a bathroom," you can say, no, this has always been here. It's just the plumbing was so atrocious. We had to tear out all that cast iron junk and we're putting in this new ABS. Look, in the living room is the stuff we ripped out. The junk man hasn't come and hauled it off yet. Yes?
What does bootlegging mean?
Bootlegging means adding a bathroom to turning a 3-1 into 3-2 without asking the government's permission. I'm not really big on asking government permission. I tend to be libertarian-brained. Yes?
We actually did a flip some years ago, and there was a converted living space in the garage, which was questionable. It wasn't, we had to argue the point. But we left the bathroom fixtures. They were older white, but we left the bathroom alone. And it still looked like 1960 inside. The inspector came, and he tried to say, well, you put it, go, you tell me, look at that. That thing's been here. That's older than I am. And he backed off.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's more clear if it's colored, but you know, those lovely 4-gallon flush ones that actually work, who's going to install that in the house? With my wife? There we go, there's a nice white bathroom. Now, I am a recycling nut. See that sink right there? There we go. That lovely cantilevered sink, that's a big drawer under there. It's an expensive sink, and it's in a $25,000 mobile home. I do handyman work for Airbnb clients, and that was in a half bath. And the second time they knocked it off the wall, I explained to my client that I thought somebody was getting frisky in the bathroom, and they were going to keep doing that on that kitchen sink, a bathroom sink, until we got a vanity with feet on it. So he paid me to install a regular vanity with legs, and I took that one home because what the heck, it's there. And I put that in and sold it. It makes that bathroom look spectacular. But that's the story for the sink. I'm sure it does. The guy that's been paying on it just died too. I gotta go check that one out. Pretty up the outside, repair the porches and steps, make the handrails strong. Old folks don't want to, you want to have good handrails, that's important. There's a couple. Nice look there. The one in the top on this one is one interesting story. I'll probably cover it later in the slideshow, but I'll cover it now. I had negotiated, this guy had bought this house 8 years earlier, and it was their retirement home. They were going to retire into this house, and they had bought it because they got a deal. And they'd bought it and been paying space rent for over 8 years. And it had changed from a nice vacation respite to a place they had to drive to twice a month to make sure that the pipes weren't broken and to take care of the house and do all the stuff you have to do when you own a vacation rental. So they would get off work Friday in Las Vegas, and they would drive down to Cathedral City, sleep in on Saturday, go have a nice breakfast at the restaurant and a round of golf and do a Saturday evening thing. And then Sunday they'd get up and do all the work on the house they had to do, pack up and drive home at 2 o'clock, and then go to work on Monday. So it really had gone from being fun to being a job. And he and his boss had an argument. And he lost his temper and said, I quit, and he was going to retire. But the two of them were not ready to retire together, and she liked her job and was not going to retire. And they couldn't afford the mortgage payment in Henderson and the space rent on his house. So he walked into the park office, slammed his keys on the door, and said, you can have it on the counter. And Park said, no, you can't do that. You got to give us 60 days notice and try to sell it. So instead, they say, well, don't tell anybody I did this, but I'm going to give you this guy's phone number. Call Andy. He'll work it out. So I get the call, and I go talk to the guy, and I negotiate the deal, and he just wanted out from under it. He didn't want a penny. So I said, do you have the title? He said, no, it's in Henderson, and we got to come back and rent a U-Haul and get the rest of our stuff. So next week, they've come back with the U-Haul. They've emptied the house out. They're ready to go. He hands me the signed title to his house. And I say, by the way, you're going to get a check from my IRA custodian for $100. Because I can't explain free to my IRA custodian as an investment for my Roth IRA. And if anybody asks, you don't mind saying the purchase price was $100, right? He said, no, I don't mind at all. So I paid $100 for that house. Step 8, yeah, it was $100 I didn't have to pay, but it made it something I could do with my IRA. So we added a few colorful towels, staged some nice posters, have some good photographs taken. I suck at that part. I still use my cell phone, and everybody laughs about it. There we go, some of my fine photography there. Always. I was raised by one of those mothers. Create open house flyers, pass them to every house in the park. Also, do Facebook Marketplace, things like that, all the free advertising you can get. Total investment on this example, we bought it for $3,000, we put $2,000 in rehab, we paid $580 in space rent, so our total out of pocket is $55.80 in our example. So we're going to bake chocolate chip cookies in our fresh, clean kitchen because good smells sell. When I'm doing open house, I have a Murray Calendar's pie tin. We get those pre-made Toll House cookies in the deli section at the grocery store, and we bake 3 cookies every 20 minutes for the entire open house. You know that peppermint mouthwash they sell at 99 cents rarely? Used to be 99 cents only.
Now it's out of business.
You know what it's good for? I can't imagine putting that in my mouth. Dump an entire bottle down every drain in the house. And you want to use the mint, not the medicine flavor. Who here has walked into an open house where the agent has put a plug-in in every room? When you walk in that house and get assaulted by the amazing smell of poopery, what do you know about that house? It stinks. When you walk in a house and it smells like cookies baking, and you step into a bathroom and it smells like mint mouthwash, do you think the house stinks? No, you think the agent thinks he has chronic halitosis and he's been rinsing his mouth. Be sure and do the drain for the washing machine. A house that has been vacant for more than 90 days, 6 months, that P-trap will dry out, and that's why laundry rooms always stink. And for $1, you can fix that. Step 11, we're going to determine the best selling price for our spruced up mobile home. We're going to survey similar sized apartments in the area of our mobile home, and we're going to try to find complexes that match the quality of the park where our mobile home is. So for this example, we're going to use $1,000 a month. So $1,000 minus the space rent, which is $580, gives us $420. To take another $120 off for a pricing edge, that gives us a $300 monthly payment. Any questions about the math? Second grade math, lots of fun. Cool. So, what's our selling price? Back to the time machine. In 120, that's 10 years. I is 9%. The payment is $300. What's our maximum selling price? $23,682. What was the going price in this park? $10,000 to $25,000. So we know we can get slightly higher than that, but we can't get substantially higher than that. So Lonnie wrote that he wanted to at least double his investment. Of course, his idea of a major rehab in a mobile home was when there was a weak spot in the floor under a crank open window or a door, he would unhook the shag carpet from the tack strip, roll it back, patch the hole in the subfloor, and then unroll and re-stretch the green shag carpet right back into place. That was a major rehab for Lonnie. So, what was the question? All right, so $23,000 sale price, $300 payment, 9% gives us 114 months. Now, how much do we have invested in that? $5,580. So ignoring the down payment and thinking that the $23,000 is the note, what's our yield on our $5,580 investment? Do the math, you will get 64.35%. Better than 15? Who here thought it was hard to make 15? This is 64. Questions? This is where usually somebody says, I don't understand the math. Who's brave? Bunch of cowards or everybody's a genius.
I don't understand the math.
Thanks, Lee. So we determined that with a $300 payment and a $23,000 note amount, we're coming in at 9.54 years. So it's less than 10 years. So it's a safe note, right? On a manufactured home, private personal property. So our note is going to be this note, $23,000 with 300 payments, 114 payments, right? Clear as mud? Now our out-of-pocket, the check we wrote for acquiring, rehabbing, and paying space rent was $5,580. So if we put that in for PV and solve for yield rate now instead of interest rate, our yield on our $5,580 investment is going to be 64.35%. These kind of things is what we will learn when we learn to use the time machine. Now, why did I choose an interest rate of 9%? Because Dodd-Frank regulations state the maximum amount of interest a non-licensed lender can charge is 6.75% above the APOR. What's the APOR? See, if you guys don't ask the questions, I have to ask them myself.
You beat me to it.
That's the average prime offer rate. Currently, it's 8.5%. If you add 6.75 to that, you get 15.25%, which is the maximum amount that Dodd-Frank says we can charge and be compliant on our loans. But we live in California, most of us. So, in Taxifornia, the usury rate is only 10%. So I like to round down to 9. Questions?
But you could use 975.
I could. Nobody said what's usury. Okay, everybody knows what usury is. How does... Usury is 10. Yeah. Yeah, it'll get adjusted at some point soon. Usury is the most that you can legally charge interest if you do a note without being in danger of being accused of and convicted of charging usurious rates. Should you be convicted of charging usurious rates, there are very, very heinous penalties. They're not handcuff penalties, they're worse. You might have to refund every dollar that that person gave you and let them keep your house because you charged a usurious loan. So never charge usurious loans unless you're lending money to a friend. Nobody laughed at that one. I gotta find a better joke for that. How does Dodd-Frank affect that sale? Dodd-Frank says that when you lend money to a homeowner occupant and secure it with his home, you must comply with the Dodd-Frank rules unless, as an individual, you only sell one house a year, or as an entity, you only sell 3 a year and you go to a system to prove that they can afford the payments. That's not good enough for me, so what do? Does Dodd-Frank affect investor buyers? No. Oh, and there's no slides on that part. That's because I just talked about it. So, if you spend a weekend with me, I will teach you a great workaround for this, which is how we do these deals and don't lend money to people secured by their residences. Just that one trick is worth the whole price of the class. My first projects. Befores and afters there, folks. Look at that. Light blue and turned into bright white and brown trim. Wood paneling with the lovely laundry in the family room. Isn't that a nice place for your washer and dryer? It's convenient, but it's a lot better looking in that closet I built for it. Interesting clearance light from Habitat on the wall there. There's another view. There's the bedroom. We splurged and bought the mirrored closet doors because that gives you more room. Even more room than painting white. Mirrors make things doubly big. Tramview Mobile Home Park is an old development in Cathedral City. It even has a smattering of old, small block houses left over from when Patton was in the desert. They were officer housing. I walked into the office and asked if there were any trailers for sale. The desk clerk went back, pulled some files, and gave me a list of 5 wobbly boxes they had for sale in the park. The cheapest 2 were $5,000 each. The next was $7,000. I asked about any private sales. She suggested that I drive the park and look. So I walked the entire park looking at what was for sale, noting prices and conditions. I spoke with a few tenants who come out to talk to me. I learned that the cheapest for sale by owner in the park was $9,000, and the prices went all the way up to $50,000. This has been a few years ago. So I offered the park $3,000 each for the 2 cheapest that they owned, and I asked for 60 days free space rent, so I had time to fix them up. They accepted, and I bought the first 2 for $6,500 total out of pocket. Sold the first one for $12,500 after investing a total of $5,200 on purchase and rehab. I borrowed $11,000 from an investor and sold subject to my existing loan. I spent a total of $5,200 on the first polished up home. I sold this factory built home for $1,500 down and $250 a month for 55 months. What was my selling price? $55,900, $250, $11,233 plus $1,500 down. Total price of $12,733. Questions?
What was your yield?
What was what? My yield? Let's see if I got that. Oh. So if I had left was 55, let's go back. 5,200 minus 1,500 would be 37? Is that right? So put 37 in for PV and solve for yield. What do you get? And I'll drink while you do your math. Be loud, be proud. 78.61? Is that right? Everybody agree with that? Let's have a poll. They don't agree with you. They got different numbers. Goodwin didn't take his calculator out, and I don't know the number. Payment's still $250. 55 payments at $250. And I was out of pocket $3,700. So PV would be minus $3,700. Payment is $250. N is 55. Drum roll and hit the I/YR, and you get 2 times 12 is 3,000 into, I think it's going to be close to 100. 78? Okay, you see, they all agree with you. It must be the right number. That's GE. On this deal, I decided to cash out now, so I borrowed the $11,000 at the 3-week point. Now what's my yield? Good enough. Jimmy used to say it was GE, but I never heard him use the E. It was always good enough. Oh, gee, we probably get there. If I run the note out for 55 months, what's my yield? Oh, I claimed I had some closing cost in the math. 67%. Because I hate those shows on HGTV. The sweet thing about this $5,200 investment is I can make the entire investment using 1 year's Roth funds and earn 67% tax free. Who's excited? Sleepy bunch, okay. What if my Roth sells the note for its face value? What if my Roth can do 4 of these little deals a year? What if I keep stepping up my game and do $20,000 purchase price trailers? What if my Roth buys ready to sell mobiles for cash cheap, doubles the purchase price to determine the sell price? What if I can do pretty mobile deals in under 60 days? What if I can reinvest 100% of the sale price of the notes? How would you like to have $320,000 in 1 year in your Roth IRA starting with only $5,000? Why won't it work? You got to do it. Oh, see, I knew I had the rest of the story in there. I turned my 100 into $30,000. Would you like to know the full list of repairs on this home? I cleaned the carpet, and I replaced the subfloor in the master bathroom. I turned $100 into $30,000, and the time may be on there. It was not very long.
That's the one you got for free?
Yeah, $100.
$100.
Yeah.
So Andy, what kind of daily activity do I have to produce that $360,000? What do I gotta do every day?
If you're gonna work your butt off and do 360 in 1 year like that,
Yeah, what do I gotta do?
you're gonna have to be out there finding deals, driving your people. It's gonna be at least 5-10 hours a week.
So that's every 2 months, you're getting a new deal?
Yeah.
5 or 10 whole hours a week?
5 or 10 whole hours a week, yeah. Yeah. My biggest source of leads nowadays are 20 widows. And those 20 widows have friends, and you know what their friends do?
Oh, you?
They die. And when mom dies, what do their kids do?
They go, ooh, it's a mole.
They call mom's friend who lives across the street and knows her, and they say, Mom's passed away. What do I do with her house? And mom's friend says, well, if you want the best price and you don't want to do any work, call Andy because he's crazy. He pays more than anybody else. You don't have to clean the house. You can leave food rotting in the refrigerator. Just come take the pictures and the tchotchkes that matter, and he takes everything else. How's that for a lead source? I love my widows. They get C's candy at Mom's Day. We take good care of those widows. Questions?
So where was this process written down that we can follow it other than a 30-minute presentation?
Well, there's some orange flyers there Mel is going to hand out. And I am actually teaching a class in Glendale, Arizona, the 25th and 26th. It is only $600, and that includes free retakes because I teach entirely too much stuff for one weekend. Next question. Scared silent.
Andy, what do you do when the manager says, we don't like investors?
I find another park. You cannot do battle with them. You want them to be your ally. By purple and orange are the same. By the way, I'm so cheap. You know the divider paper, when you get your manuals printed, they give you divider sheets? You know I save those and use them for flyers. So that's what these are. These are divider sheets. Okay, as I promised, 2 deals. Was that a question or one? Wait, ladies first, and then I'll get to you. Go ahead, loud.
Where do you advertise your homes to sell?
For sale, I like Facebook Marketplace. Although I stuck a sign in front of one mine that's for sale in a good area in my subdivision yesterday, and I've had 20 calls just from sticking a sign in front of a home. Affordable housing is in high demand right now. Yes, sir.
So what do you do if the bank wants to check your credit score?
Say it. What again?
If the bank wants to check your credit score before they approve you for a purchase?
They don't approve me. Who the heck is going to approve me? I don't deserve approval. I don't have a job. I don't have any income. Nobody's going to approve me, but I'm their ally. I take their ugly ducklings and I make them shiny and white and look like new. And then the person's going to live in it they approve. And I like that because they do all that work. I don't have to.
So is there a way to stop them into accepting you to check your credit or that's what I will
I've never had a park run my credit, which is a good thing because up until 2 years ago it was 0. I had a 0 FICO score for most of my life, and then I was on one of those airplanes, and I hadn't seen all of my FICO scores at all the credit bureaus, so I figured, what the heck, I'll get a free look by getting rejected. So I filled out the Discover application on the airplane, and I got a $300 credit card. I got a $700 credit line and credit score in less than 2 years. Ask me why, I don't know. Yes. No, you asked the question. That just means it can't be done.
How do you actually, is it that transaction IRA accounts and to pay that. So let's say I have an IRA account, so then can you just explain a little bit? Because I really
Sure. I negotiate a deal. I do written instruction to my IRA custodian. I say, I'm buying this mobile home at 1234 Main Street. Send a check for $3,000 to, Mon Pa Kettle Mobile Home Park. Yeah, well, I mean, it's paperwork. But basically, that's something.
So do you know, like, if I find a deal, can someone guide me to how to do that for the first time? Because it sounds easy when you say it, but how do I actually do that?
Who here knows what the secret is to finding information from Andy? Don't text me. I'm a boomer. Pick up your phone. Call me if we can talk on the phone. Great. If you want to do face to face, we do Red Robin lunch. Come out, buy me lunch. Yeah, at least 90 minutes. Jim and I. The first time Jim came for lunch, what was it? 6 hours. It was the dinner rush was starting when we finally finished lunch because it was good questions. I'll stay there as long as you have good questions, and I answer my phone. Yes, Dad.
I think I read in the paper the Red Robin is going belly up.
Better not. No, Red Lobster.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, hey, I got a cheap trick for those of you that are going on the cruise. Want to save 10%? Who wants to save 10% on the cruise?
I'm ready.
Cool. Go to raise.com, like an increase in pay, RAISE.com. They sell Royal Caribbean gift certificates in any amount you want over $1,000 for 9% off, sometimes more. So all except for that first $500 deposit, you can pay at a discount. Any other questions? I haven't had enough questions. I've only burnt an hour. I'm supposed to burn 90 minutes on this. Yeah.
How quickly does the IRA send the checks to you? Should you send in 30 days?
Depends on your custodian. Some of them are miserable and some of them are very fast. I have 4 of them. I'm not sure which one's my favorite. Well, oh yeah, you're not going to do it in a Prudential account. Yeah, you have to have a good self-directed IRA. Evan.
Are you finding that from your students and you that today there's more deals that there were 20 years ago, or the same, or less?
Boy, that's hard to answer because I've lived through. I was here in 9 and 10 when they were just throwing houses out on the street. The banks were saying, "We don't want this junk. Take it, please, please." I will say I have enough. I don't have a student that I'm aware of who has actually put any effort in and not found deals. So I don't think there's a problem with deal flow. My wife used to give me a hard time because I taught my system in my hometown. And I now have really focused my business to one 1,800 unit subdivision. And I know there are 7 people that I've had in my classrooms who are doing deals in that community. So, and we're not getting them all. So, yeah.
Jim and I had breakfast the other day, and we were talking that we're noticing, seriously, yes, on the MLS, deals are harder to come by, but that's our cyclical, and you know what I mean. Anyway, we're noticing though, the more we look, the more we're finding deals in general. So again, they're there. It's got to work and some take a little longer. But again, and if you just look regularly, you keep doing it, they'll keep coming.
And deals aren't found. You don't stumble over them. You structure them. You create your deals. Train those widows. My best marketing. Let's talk straight marketing for a second. My best marketing thing. I bought 6 gross of the worst, cheapest t-shirts that I could get, 50 cents a piece. I had them all billboard printed on the back. It says, Andy buys mobile homes and my phone number. And we were talking atrocious t-shirts, assorted colors, holes in shirts. They were just nasty. I take a t-shirt, a card that says, I want to buy your home. I'm not a real estate agent. I pay full price. If you're ready to sell, please call. If you're not ready to sell, please put this card in your house folder. I hang those on doorknobs. For every 35 of those I hang, I buy a house. How's that for a return? And of course, I get bored doing open houses, so I walk away from the house and go hang bags near the open house. You got a question? You're holding it up to your mouth.
Andy, how much money do you need to get a deal done? So if you're starting out from scratch, if you have no money, can you still get a deal done?
I would say today, I would say you need to have $10,000 to $15,000. I mean, you can squeak by on 5 if you're good at getting people to finance things for you, but 10 to 15 is a safe number. Yeah, Evan.
There's a couple members who partnered up on the deal. One of the guys found it, took action, went to a park in Lake Elsinore, and some of us helped them talk numbers, kept checking, kept getting the price down lower and lower. And one of the other people in the fire pass said, I've got the money. Partnered up on the deal. So one has zero money, the other one paid for the mobile home and then put the rehab money in, and they're splitting it, and they're going to do really well, especially one of them, you got infinite return, you have no money involved.
Sure. Yeah, there's money in the room. Did you have a question?
I was going to say the same thing,
Oh.
that if you partner with someone
Yeah.
that has the money and you have the deal, you can find the money, just come to exchangers and the money's there.
That's, yeah. Everyone hears that, what's the one adage we've all heard from the gurus and from the tease meetings? And we all said, oh, that's bull. It's that if you have a deal, you'll find the money. If you can't find the money, what's the problem?
It's not a deal.
It's not a deal. If it's a deal, the money's here. Guarantee it. Any other questions before we get on to infinite? See, everybody wants infinite. First structure, delayed gratification. So let's use a home that I'm all in, $10,000. I'm selling it for $25,000 note, $25,000, $3,000 down, and a $350 note, 85 month, $350 a month note. There's our note. If I assume that we net $2,000 from the down payment, because I hate those shows on HGTV, and I end up with $8,000 invested in this note, and here we go. So I go to my friendly neighborhood note investor who wants 14% on his money, and he puts up the $8,000 for this deal. How many months of payments does he get? I like seeing fingers moving on phones. That just inspires me. $26.74. So after those 27 months, I get all the rest of those 85, right? Cool. 58. Boy, I'm glad I paid somebody to fix the PowerPoint, because I suck at it. So 85 payments minus 27 to him gives me 58 payments. What's our yield? GE. What do you get when you divide by 0? You get infinite, not 0. Second structure. Everybody understands the answer is infinite, because 0 goes into everything infinite times. I know, algebra. Second structure, infinite returns. This is my favorite structure, by the way. This is a home we bought in a park where the home and the lot are individually titled. The purchase price was $55,000. Referral fee in closing was $4,000. Rehab of the mobile was another $5,000. So my all-in investment in this deal is $64,000. Everybody follow the math? Clear as mud?
Yeah.
Step 1, I borrowed $30,000, payable $350 a month at 9% from investor number 1, secured by the mobile home. Step number 2, I borrowed $30,000, payable interest only, with a 120-day call from investor number 2, who's about to get paid off, by the way. I gotta give Jose the number for that. We're making our last payment on that note. Step 3, we sold the home for $7,000 down, subject to the $30,000 loan, and leased her the lot for $510 a month with a 2% annual rent increase. I call that an escalation clause now. Cash out $64,000. Loan number 130. Loan number 230. Down payment 7, giving me a net investment of $3,000 in my pocket. Net investment, negative $3,000. I invested negative $3,000. This is where plain cash flow has taught me how to read financial statements. If you invest a negative number, it means you put money into hip pocket National Bank. What's the only ongoing cost on this one-space mobile home park? Property taxes. There is no space rent. It's a subdivision. Property taxes on a building lot once we paid off the land loan. What's my biggest worry about this deal? Nah, they're not gonna move the home. What's that?
Property taxes go up?
Property taxes may go up, but my rent goes up too. And we are in Taxifornia, where Prop 13 is still king. My biggest worry about this deal is that my grandkids will accept the cash purchase offer on this one-space mobile home park after their mother passes away. Because she knows that she's not to sell these single-space mobile home parks, because they are infinite wealth. And if her kids do that, I will rattle chains at night so they can't sleep. Questions? Crickets, boy. Pete says when they get quiet, you got to get more outrageous. Sign up for the weekly What If. That's the yellow flyer in the food room. If you're not already on it, you need to be. It is free. Comes out every Sunday. You get calculator questions and the answers to last week's calculator questions, and upcoming vetted education like John Schaub and Peter Fortunato, and exchange meetings I attend nationwide. It's a great value. It's worth every penny you pay for it. The Wizard Complete is going to be May 25th and 26th in Glendale, Arizona, and I cannot make the strike-through stick. Today only. If you get an email to me by midnight, I will knock $104 off the price, $495. If you're busy Memorial Day weekend, June 1st and 2nd, I will be in beautiful Columbus, Ohio, and I'll give you the same deal, but only till midnight. If you don't want to spend a weekend with me, the HP Calculator Home Study course is $395, or the Wizards Mobile Home Flipping and Discounted Note Creation Home Study course is $395. That's the other side of most of the flyers you guys got tonight. There's my me, Problems into Profits, that's what I call my company. There's my phone number and my email address. If you would like to get a copy of Lonnie's book, go to cashflowdepot.com. If you would like a copy of Invest in Debt, because I believe our last copy has been checked out, go to GaryJohnston.com. And if you don't put the T in there, you will get the guy who should have been president instead of Trump. And the guy with the T is Gary Johnston, who's a friend of mine, and he actually makes sure that Cricket, Jimmy's widow, gets a little bit of money on every book he sells. And that's the end of the slideshow, except for that again. You should sign up for John's class if you have not already. It is worth substantially more than we're charging to be in this room. And it comes with a free cocktail party Saturday night. Yes?
We're not able to make this event, is it being recorded or is it made through online?
There is a reality of the Florida six-pack, and that is that they feel very inhibited when there's evidence. So it will not be recorded for public consumption. Yes?
So, how is the mobile home part of the class on the 25th and 26th different from what you're doing with Farah in July?
What we're doing with Fair in July is completely new. We're going to be doing an interesting, that mobile home event is going to be an interesting structure because we've got 3 people in the same industry, more or less, who do our businesses substantially differently, and we will have 3 different ideas on how to do everything. It's going to be a day on rehab, and then it's going to be a section on acquiring and a section on financing and I don't remember there are 4 separate sections and we each have our own take on it. And I have yet to start sitting down at the word processor and writing my sections. Don't tell Farah. So yeah, that's a totally new class. It's going to be interesting to see how it comes out. Oh, completely. So the class that I'm teaching is what I like to call a toolbox class. You will be able, after you spend a weekend with me, sometimes 3 times, right, Evan?
Yep.
Before it finally sticks. You will be able to go out and do this. You will have everything you need to go flip mobile homes. Yes?
After the first class, I screwed it all up, got Andy pissed off at me, and we still made about $20,000 in about 4 to 5 weeks. I did it all wrong.
Yep. And Rodolfo did it all right, bought one for 10 grand, cleaned it the following weekend, drug his family down and said, we're going to clean this mobile home, folks, let's go clean. Sold it the next week for $5,000 down, a $55,000 note. I lent him $27,500 for half of that note. So in less than 60 days, he turned $10,000 into $32,500. He sold 12 the year he turned 20. Borrowed $750,000 from my friends and I. And when he's 27, he will start collecting $1 million in profit. Hopefully we'll have grown up enough by then he won't buy more of those stupid Ohio turnkey runs. Oh, you haven't been listening. I've been annoyed at that. I'm afraid he has a lesson coming. But we'll be there to pick up the pieces when the time comes, I suppose. Questions? Yes?
So where is your presentation in Glendale, Arizona?
It's at Goodwin's Airbnb. It's a really comfortable place to be, and he's got a food program. If you want to get breakfast and dinner from him, you can talk to him about it. Did you rent your last room?
I did.
So we're out of rooms for rent?
We have air beds and sleeping bags now.
All right, the garage is going to be for rent too. There's a pool, but no jacuzzi.
Just
If the weather's nice, you can sleep on the back porch, I suppose.
good.
Yeah. There were a couple other hands.
Do you want to talk about your thing?
Well, I did, because that's pretty much it. It's completely unique. And we're not really promoting that until we deal. Is it July? I thought it was November. Yeah. July got We decided doing John, us, and then Pete, one after the next was too much.
Too much in a row. Yeah.
Well, you can come take my class. Oh, by the way, my class comes with free retakes. I think I'm the only guy in the country teaching real estate who says come back multiple times and there's no charge. Like I said, many people needs more than once.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Questions? Really?
And Andy, your free retakes are only for the events that you actually sponsor yourself.
Well, a space available is the answer to that, and quite often I negotiate for retakes when I am working for a sponsor, because my retakers actually help the class. If you show up as a retaker, you may find yourself helping.
Yeah.
Sure.
Your home study courses that are available, is that like self-paced or how does that work?
It's home study. You get it. Hang on. It'll be back. It'll be back. We actually professionally recorded a weekend class session, had it edited, and we provide it on a service called Vimeo. So you can just sit at home with your computer in your underwear and do it. You get to print your own manual, and you can do it as much or as many times as you like. I see. It's yawns that are usually contagious, not sneezes. Well, thanks, gang. We got done early. Good one. You got 15 minutes of fill?
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I love doing this. And I only had a couple of jokes that just completely. Oh, sometimes, yeah.
For those of you that don't know, he really does answer his phone when you call.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless I'm in a meeting.
Vicky.
Somebody said something back there, but
I didn't hear Katie.
Oh, I said he'll answer the phone any time of day, no matter what's going on.
That's true.
Sick of that.
Except at night, I don't hear it because it's in my office.
Andy, do you want to spend a little bit more time talking about your upcoming classes, a little bit more detail about the first day, second day, what gets covered?
If you look at the flyers that went out, and by the way, I apologize, some of the purple flyers don't have the home study course on the backside. The oranges do. My printer was on strike. Actually, it's the operator error, not the printer error. Half of them have the right thing on the back. Saturday, we learned how to run our financial calculator from the very basic to the fairly advanced. You will learn the reason we use the app instead of the traditional brick. And then Sunday, we go over discounted note creation and mobile home flipping. And we will talk, a couple hours on rehab. Mostly it's on finance and math and paperwork and negotiation and where to buy your bandit signs and why you want a burner phone and why you don't ever want to buy yellow and black bandit signs and how to market and pick your neighbor flyers and 11-foot feathers, and it's a big toolbox.
So does the financial calculator only work for real estate deals?
No. If you end up in that little room at the car dealership and you take your financial calculator out and put it on the counter in front of the finance guy, he will stop.
Right, Manny?
Yep, absolutely.
Did you play that game, Manny?
I did. Just like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It's amazing. Their math is off a little bit. And most people don't catch it.
They would never do that.
No. You don't mind that 700%. By the way, there's still plenty of meatballs. I heard we ran out a month ago, and that annoys the heck out of me. So we got plenty tonight. Eat more. I know there's more cupcakes. If they haven't been put out yet, they will be. So we have the good food on third weekends, our third Wednesdays. Any other questions? Concerns? We're going to change seats. Okay.
I wanted to add a couple of things real quick. First of all, who's noticed the price of California real estate? 800,000, 500,000. Who feels intimidated because the price is $1 million, 900,000, 400? Oh, I wish I was buying houses in 2010 like some of you for 50 grand, right? And anyone relate?
50 grand?
Okay. So one of the things though, I just want to tell you and talk about Andy's class real quick. I've taken it 3 times. Also, we paid for our 16-year-old granddaughter to take it as well, because I wanted her to learn at the beginning the financial calculator to know that she had options instead of just straight to college with no other thought behind it. But anyway, the entry level on the mobile homes are far, far lower. Yes, $2,000, $5,000. 3 weeks ago, I turned down a mobile home that was literally handed to me with keys. I was like, no. And it just didn't work out for something I was trying to do. But the point is entry level can be 0 or 5,000, 10,000. So those who considers themselves a conservative investor, half the room. So it's a really easy, because if you do something wrong on a $10,000 mobile home, that's different than a $900,000 house where you have a $200,000 flip. Something goes wrong and you lose $100,000. See the difference? Okay, so just keep that in mind. And the other part is with the same thing with a conservative investor. John Shaw talks about building wealth one house at a time, not doing 20, not creating a company and doing 50,000 phone calls a day with 12 employees and scaling up, which is great for some people that want that, but just one house a year for 10 years can change your life. So those of you will say, I'm a very conservative investor, and then I'll say, yeah, you know what, you should check John out. It's like, well, I might be doing something. Last year when Pete came out, Angela and I canceled a trip to Europe because Pete was coming out here. All right, and so we were like, well, how we're planning our trips in August? We're like, oh, Pete's coming out, well, now we're going to change it. Okay, so continuing education is huge. And I can tell you this, in 2010, I dragged Angela to a class right here at the Marriott. Before the club existed, the Marriott, we paid $1,500 and we had to put it on a freaking credit card because we were down to nothing. And I'm telling you, it's a life changer. So I wanted to say again, any of you want to think about, you have those issues, you just want the money to be less of a problem, I'm telling you, Andy's class always, that's why I've taken it for 3.5 times. Sorry, one was Zoom and I only could half listen while I worked on the computer. And then John. I'm telling you, I can't say it. That's why Angela and I are putting our money up and saying we will help you, anyone that needs it, because that's how important I think it is. I get monkeys for this. Nothing for that. I just know that's how important I think it is. Okay? I just had to say that.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Evan. I'll say a little bit about that as well. So for 2 years running, the appearances that Pete has come out, I've been the first person to buy a ticket. Do you know how many times I've seen Pete? Over a dozen times. How many times have you seen Pete? Just in 1 year.
It's got to be 30 times.
Yeah.
And I'm signed up to be in his paper class in December, and I'm annoyed. He actually has me on the first line on his Excel spreadsheet is my name because I'm going to be in the June class and the December class every year, except that he moved his June class back a week. It's normally Father's Day, and he's the same weekend as John, so I'm going to enjoy not having to fly anywhere. I get to stay at Dad's house and enjoy John. So I will be here for the class.
And when was the last time John came out to Southern California?
He and Pete tag teamed is it 19? He has not taught one house at a time in over 5 years. I know that, not just on the West Coast at all. He has not taught this class in quite a while. And I think it's his signature class, quite frankly. So, yes, not one to be missed.
Yep. So just a reminder, Evan, Angela, they have their sponsorship, trying to provide assistance for education. Steve also has that, Steve Hodgman, who spoke last month. He has 5 available doing this exactly the same program. I have one which is a little bit different from Andy's. Andy did 4 today. So his offer comes with cash. Mine comes with cash, but also a little bit less. So education is really, really important. We're probably the only kind of real estate club, association, group, whatever, that provides this kind of education and provides this kind of financing. Okay. Somebody wants a ticket.
Good. Somebody took action. Yes.
What time are you going to start Saturday morning? What time are you going to end on?
John's class? My class, 8:30 on both, and I never know when I'm going to end. I will tell you, I would encourage you to arrange housing for Sunday night, because you're not going to be in it, because you will not be safe to drive unless you're going to Uber home.
If you're talking about having a class at my house, breakfast starts at 7:30, and I'm cooking custom to order based upon the ingredients that I have. And breakfast and dinner comes with that when you do the room. And because the rooms themselves are booked at this point, we have hotels in the area, so feel free to go ahead and talk to me later, and I'll be able to give you some recommendations on that and work out a meal program as well.
So no houseboy this time, because you can't afford the place.
We have a house girl.
A house girl, okay. Hopefully she knows how to wash dishes and not just break them.
We'll see.
Oh, you know something you guys were talking about, something that I wanted to share. If you see any class advertised in the Weekly What If, and you want to attend it, and the only reason you're not signed up for the class is money, contact the instructor or the sponsor. Because if I'm promoting a class in my newsletter, the person that I am promoting does not teach a class for money. And if you need financing, if you need something worked out, talk to them. Because they only charge for their class, as I only charge for my class, because if it's free, people don't appreciate it and they don't apply it. So that's why we charge. And if the only reason you're not going is money, that's no excuse. Call somebody. Thank you. This has been fun.
Thank you.